there, welcome back to the Dixie Steiners. I'm Walter Sweat. Today we're going to talk about Cold War Steins. The Cold War went from the 2nd of September of 1945 through 26 December of 1991. That coincided with the end of the Second World War and the fall of the Soviet Union. Although there were lots of different types of steins that were produced during this period that could be considered Cold War steins, we're only going to talk about the porcelain 1/2 liter with the lithopanes. Take this one for example. This happens to be mine. These were unique to each individual or activity that was depicted on them. Each of these steins were customizable. The individual would meet with a salesman and have an opportunity to look through a catalog and select which elements they wanted to include on their stein. Based on that, the order would be placed. Some of the common features that you would see on these are, first of all, the name of the individual who it belongs to, the name and the rank. So in this case, Specialist 4 Walter Sweat. I was a specialist at the time that I bought it. I was a military policeman, and so I chose to represent my job with the military police badge and the cross pistols of the military police. And of course, I wanted the unit to which I was assigned, the 536th Military Police Company. That was a subordinate unit of 7th Army and the 7th Army Training Command. So we also had the 7th Army shoulder patch here. And I also wanted to represent the community where I was at, and I was in Grafenwehr, Germany. So I included the Wappen, or the coat of arms from the city of Grafenwehr, had that on there, and the dates that I was originally supposed to be assigned there. Now, as far as lids go, they all have pewter lids. I just settled for the steeple lid. Let's take a look at some of these others that I've got here. Now, this is a tanker's stein. This is a subordinate element of the 3rd Armored Division, and it belonged to a Donald Pulsifer, who was assigned to the 32nd Tank Battalion. This tank battalion was the unit that Elvis Presley ultimately was assigned to after it had been redesignated. So this stein was probably 50 to 55 that period, and Elvis was stationed there in 1958. Here we have the city coat of arms of Friedberg, Germany, and we have the unit crest. Again, these are typical elements that you find on it. The unit crest, the unit patch, the city seal, the name of the individual, and in this case, we have a tank for the armor unit. Over here, this is a stein that belonged to a Lawrence Hicks with the 39th Engineer Group out of Ettlingen, Germany. And this is the unit patch for the United States Army Europe. And on here, we've got the dates that this individual was there, February 63 to April 64, and his designated title is here, Utilities Officer. And Ettlingen is near the French border. The finial is a little more decorative. It's a representation of the castle that stands for the engineers. The thumb lift is also a little more elaborate, and it is a representation from the Baden-Württemberg coat of arms. This other one, it wasn't only the Army that had them, but the U.S. Air Force had these signs as well. So this is one, Ramstein Air Base, Germany, 1956. The individual C.A. Tate was assigned to the 730 Motor Vehicle Squadron of the 12th Air Force. So here you see some nice coloring. You've got a nice finial, with jet airplane for the Air Force, and a nice thumb lift. Again, something a little more ornate than the one that I had. Now, the manufacturers of these porcelain steins are generally not known because most of the steins were never marked with the name of the manufacturer. Sometimes there will be stickers on them, such as you see in this case, that are the folks that did the final decorating on them. Now, these steins have really jumped up in collectability, it seems like, recently. I think it's because that there's a historical perspective that can be established for both the soldier or airman that's whose Stein it was, as well as the unit that was involved. There's a lot of history that can be gathered from looking at these Steins. The uniqueness. Every one of these is different. All of these Steins, all of these porcelain Steins, will have some type of lithopane. Generally, the lithopane that's there is the nude woman lithopane. But this one was for a Lieutenant Elizabeth Ryder, a female soldier, and she chose to have a lithopane that shows like a Tyrolean couple dancing. As I said before, these were customizable, and whatever the soldier wanted, they could have on their Steins. Hopefully this is giving you kind of a little insight into what Cold War Steins are, what they look like, where they came from, and my thoughts at least on why they are so collectible. So if you are interested in learning more about them, feel free to go to the Stein Collectors International website and go to the reading room. You'll find there's at least one paper that's available to the general public there, and if you become a member of Stein Collectors International, you'll have access to the Prosit magazine, and there you'll find several different articles that cover Cold War Steins. Until next time, keep on collecting Steins.